video. Today I'm going to call this a super mindful / mindless watercolor abstract painting. This is super simple, so if you are in the mood to just sit down with your watercolors, paint something and relax, this video is for you. Also, if you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Curating. I'm an intuitive color-led artist based in Austria and Europe, and on my channel I share my artsy adventures. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see similar tutorials, then leave me a comment and give it a thumbs up, and of course I would love for you to subscribe. I had the idea for this video after watching a video about crochet, which I also do, and it was titled something like 9 Mindless Crochet Projects, and I can relate. Nobody loves a mindless crochet project or just mindless project more than this gal. And so I thought it would actually be a great video to make with watercolors because I use art to relax, not just, to pursue a career in the arts. For me, art and mixed media and originally scrapbooking, I found it again in my 30s as a way to deal with major life changes. And I thought it would be cheaper than therapy. Well, it's not. So especially when you need all the stuff. But anyway, this is a big part of my own personal creative practice. And in recent months, I have really found myself focusing on trying to really kind of narrow down what it is about my artistic practice that really brings me joy. And it is always that balance for me personally to find a process that I love and also a result that is pleasing to me, because many times I will enjoy, really like messy everything in the kitchen sink on my canvas, but the result is not something that kind of fits my aesthetics. And so I've been really trying to find that place. And for me personally, a lot of it looks like abstract art that is really focused on color. And if all of this sounds, really I'm speaking your language about intuitive painting and color-led painting and mindfulness and mindlessness, then I invite you to join my Rainbow Method course. It's not about painting rainbows. It is about strategies that will help you create art for all of those additional benefits that I mentioned with ease and joy. Create art that you love, even when you're feeling down, even when you're uninspired, not feeling creative. I talk about all that in the class, and I've extended the special introductory price for a few more days, so it's $97 right now instead of $147, the full price. Take advantage of it now. If you want to learn more about the course, the link will be below. So basically what we're doing today, as you can see, is we're just kind of swatching the colors, but I'm not going to use every single color in my palette. This is just a really great way to do something relaxing, still create something, but also as you are painting this, I really encourage you to pay attention and see how these colors make you feel. I've spent a lot of time curating, many years, curating my watercolor palette, and basically including only colors that I absolutely love. And for some people this is a very easy process. For me, because probably in my first years painting, I just felt very much inexperienced and like a beginner, and so I thought that everyone else's opinions, especially artists that were more successful and experienced than I was, were better than my opinion. And I think that is not the right way when it comes to something like color. So for a long time I had in my palette all kinds of colors that, I kept hearing that they're like must-have colors. You should have all of these colors in your palette. And I just realized that I didn't really want to use them. And when I was using them because I was following a tutorial or something, I just didn't like the result. And so with time, I just learned to let everything go, everything that wasn't working for me, and kept what was working for me. And of course, this is an ever-changing, ever-evolving thing. My palette changes, but certain things seem to stay there for longer times. And so this is what I really recommend for you to do. We go through kind of like a whole process of like curating our color palette with different media in the Rainbow Method course. But this is the gist of it, the core of it is just to only keep colors that really, as I say, give you the feels and bring you joy. And for me, it tends to be very specific colors. And a lot of those colors are like, not a lot, but many are brand specific. It will be like a certain shade of pink that only a certain brand makes. And many times, most times, a lot of these colors, you will not find these in basic sets. So it's also about like going out, hunting those perfect colors. And of course, it's a trial and error. But a part of what I love doing on my channel is really to highlight and tell you about certain colors that I feel are unique, and then you can see them. And if you really, really love the same color, you can add it to your palette, because I think a lot of artists, especially when they're starting out, but not just, if they want to explore and they want to try, let's say, new watercolor brands, they will get a certain set from a new to them brand. And those curated ready-made sets are usually targeting, I don't mean it in a negative way, but they're meant for beginners or just people that want to have a very kind of well-rounded palette. But many times those colors completely don't speak to me. So earth tones and a lot of primary colors, I don't tend to use a lot of them in my paintings. And so I really encourage you, if you want to grow, to like widen your watercolor collection, don't buy basic sets, like never. Just try to see and find people on YouTube or on the internet that kind of show you the specific colors, and then you can find those unique gems that you can add to your collection. So let me just tell you a little bit about my process. As you can see, this is not rocket science. It's very, very simple. But there are all kinds of things that you can consider as you are doing this. Now, I love, love, love rainbow order. My brain loves this, thrives on this, and I just like how the colors look. So I'm painting this in rainbow order, but you absolutely don't have to. And so this is where your own kind of mood and aesthetic come into play. I also like just these roundish shapes. I also like that there is a white border or like area that separates each and every color, but you don't have to do this. You can do squares. You can have all of these colors like touching each other and then seeing how they flow into one another. So as simple as it is, there are so many ways that you can do this that will reflect your own style and your own aesthetics. And you can take time and think about which colors you want to paint next to other colors. You can think about the shapes and then the size of the shapes. This is another thing that I love thinking about and express in my artwork, which it is very color led and color focused, but then with certain colors I love to have just like a little bit of them. Like teal, for example, is a color that I love, but I find that when I use a lot of it, I don't like it. So it's a lot also about the dosage of just like having maybe a very colorful painting, but having very little of a lot of the colors. So I just think it's a really, really fun way to play and explore and kind of figure out what you enjoy and what you like. And there's also something I'll show you at the end, kind of another version of this that I did later, which, you know, once I had an idea of how many colors I kind of wanted to use, I could paint another one and have it a little bit more organized, because as you can probably see, I have like all these yellows on top. They are, you know, taking a lot of space, and then as I go down, I realize I have more colors and things start to get a little bit more hectic. And then I try to kind of correct that in the second version. But to be honest with you, I like this one better because I feel this is such a great representation of my messy brain and how, you know, I start things more organized and more orderly, and then everything falls apart and I'm just trying to make do. And there's something to me that is appealing about this. But this is, you know, just my journey, and I'm like giving you a peek into it, not with the intention that you should do the same, but with the intention that you will figure out where you are in this place. And I just found this whole process to be very fun, relaxing, and enjoyable, probably mostly because it was very low stress. There's no, you know, it's like very simple abstract art, and I got to really focus on color, which is what I love. Now, I have to say, I will put this also in the notes below, that this is very much inspired by an amazing, amazing artist called Sarah Martinez. You can find her on Instagram. She's amazing. Her color sense is very similar to mine. I think that's why I'm very drawn to her work. And she's also an abstract artist, but she does quite often these series of like these palette paintings, which are just, you'll see, these are paintings very, very similar to what you see here on screen. And I want to give her full credit. She really inspired me to take on kind of this direction and just develop it and make it more my own with acrylic paint. And when it comes to watercolors, I'm not sure I enjoy this kind of process as much as I do with acrylics, because I don't know, it just looks a little bit different with watercolors. You can't kind of layer in the way that you can layer with acrylics. So I don't know if this will be something I want to explore more, but I definitely enjoyed creating this. And what I also recommend for you to do if you're trying to do something similar is use your best. You know, take your favorite paper, your favorite brushes, your most beloved paints, and really turn this into, you know, the same experience that you would have when you're sitting down with I don't know, like your best tea or your best cup of coffee, or eating the most like delicious cake. Just enjoy the best that your art supplies have to offer. Don't get precious. This is what they're made for. This is what they're meant for. And they are not fulfilling their destiny if you're not using them. So here you can see I created another one that is a little bit more organized. And honestly, to me, it is less charming than the first one that I made. And so that's just my own aesthetics. I like things to be kind of messy, not too organized. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you soon in another one. Take care. Bye bye.